Hey guys, welcome back to the DreamState Livin podcast. It is your host, Ethan. Here we talk about life path, life purpose, dharma, and all of that in between. And we bring people on that we can talk about and have these conversations to help you connect with whatever it is you want to do in your life path, life purpose. I got my man Jacob here today. It's interesting. We met virtually, which is kind of cool about this world that we live in now, that you can meet people and connect with them virtually, just kind of follow them on social and see what they're doing. Jacob's an interesting cat. He's really into fitness and CrossFit right now, and he's been training for, we'll tap into it. I'm not totally sure exactly what you're training for, but he's training freaking hard, and he's going hard at it, and it's just really beautiful to see, and he's sharing his process along the way. So Jacob, welcome to the DreamState Livin podcast, brother. How we doing?
Ethan, man, thank you. I'm doing great. You might be doing better. I hear where you are. Remind me, Bolivia again right now, or
Yeah.
yeah. You're living well. I'm
Estoy
in
en
Austin.
Bolivia.
There you go. It's hot here, but life's good, man. It couldn't be better. I appreciate you having me on. I appreciate you just thinking of me in the first place to even be on. So awesome.
Absolutely. You shared this quote, I believe it was today or yesterday, simultaneously musing while helping other people muse. And I really love that. Can you elaborate on that for us?
I would say what that is. It was a good friend of mine, Jackson Mitchell, who texted me that, but it was his vision for me, or rather maybe he was articulating for me something I haven't been able to do. It's like, what am I trying to build? Right? I think everyone understands what Muse is, right? Like Muse is, um, it's a state of being, right? But like, what are you doing with Muse? Why are you saying it? And it's like, I think it's because I'm trying to build. It's what I'm trying to build. I'm trying to essentially muse myself full time, all the time, nonstop, while help others and teach others to do the same.
Mm,
And I think there's power in that. I think you're by giving so much. By I would hope by giving people, teaching people how to feel the way I'm feeling most days, there's a lot of just like worldly energy that comes back from that. And I think
yeah,
there's a lot of success stories you see of people doing similar. So that's essentially what I'm trying to do with my content.
I love it.
Muse while helping others muse and do the same.
And it's universally rewarding as well, because when you're following your muse and raising your energetic vibration to a high point, that's awesome alone. But when you can bring other people in it
Yeah.
as well, wow, then that energy is just like I see your content and it fires me up to want to go smash a workout, or it wants me to be better that day or to eat healthier. So for the people that don't know, because a lot of people listening might not know or might not follow you, can you break down, let's start with Muse, and then I want to go into a couple of these maybe aphorisms, if you would call them,
Yeah,
that you
sure,
utilize.
sure. Muse. Muse is a state of being, is the best way to describe it. And that state of being is mind clear motor running. Um, I'm a firm believer, it's my belief through my just life experiences is that to be successful, to be happy, to flourish, to grow in today's world, you have to have a clear mind and you have to have a motor to back up that mind, right?
Mm,
And you can't have one without the other. For example, and the way you feel after a good workout, how clear-headed you are, creative, like energetic. Oh, like hi, let's go do this. You wouldn't have that, or you couldn't find that. It'd be harder to find if you didn't have like a physical body to like get you there, right? Then also those creative ideas that you come up with when you're in that space. Okay, then you have to have the motor to wake up the next day, or I have to execute. I have to check boxes. I have to get things done. I have to just do the dirty work to turn this idea that I want to work on, this something I created in this state of being clear-headed, and execute on that.
mm.
I don't think I've found that yet in my life. I've had a lot of good ideas. I wanted to start that. I don't think I've had the right, I haven't been tuned perfectly. And that's what I'm doing with Muse is I'm trying to tune myself to create something, build something. And it's fun, Ethan, because truthfully, in sitting here and doing it, it's kind of a manifestation of exactly what I've circular, right? I got up this morning, I was kind of dreading, sorry to ramble, I was kind of dreading, I had a podcast
No.
earlier and then I had a podcast with you. I'm like, damn, my routine's screwed up. Can't go to work. You
Mm,
know, take the day off, man. This is what you've been thinking about and wanting to create. And that's Muse in itself, right? And
mm.
I'm just sharing that tuning, if you will.
it's nice when we can kind of take a step down as well and realize like, holy shit, what I've been working towards is now I'm living it out. And then there comes like the other challenges and
Are you
people
ready
start
for
to
it?
offer you things. Yeah. Are you ready
Like,
for
are you
this?
ready for this? Like, yo, you wanted this. Let's go. There it
Yeah.
is.
And
It's
there's
fun.
usually some tests that come along with the are you ready for it as well. I've been learning lately how to say no to things as well because I believe in the beginning of maybe in the beginning of creating Muse for you, like you would have said yes to anything, any opportunity, but as you get busier and you have to respect your time and your commitment and what aligns with your mission, to me, I've learned how to say no to things more, and it is a little bit hard sometimes. But can you relate to that?
Yeah, 100%. I'd say I say no to almost everything that comes my way right now. Um, and I don't
I'm laughing because I can relate.
everything, man. And I think it's important. There are certain things that I will say yes to, certain friends that need help, certain friends that want to hang out, like I'll say yes to. But a lot of distractions maybe isn't the right word because the distractions is kind of a negative connotation, but I'm going to use it because I feel like, or maybe I got to come up with a new term, but things that take you out of your muse, if you will. And I'm just going to
Mm,
keep relating everything back to the muse, right? Because I just think that it's the best way to describe that
I
first
love it.
question. But like you're in your muse, like dude, you're locked in, Ethan. You're down, you're traveling, you're learning Spanish. Maybe you'll meet your future spouse down there, speak Spanish. Who knows, right? Whatever you're going to get into, you're musing it's fine to be selfish. I believe be fine. It's fine to be selfish to say no to a lot that takes away from you being in that space right now. But there are friends I'll draw the line for, family, obviously, obligations, things that like pillars in your life.
Mm.
Um, Long-winded answer, man, of saying I go to the gym, I go home, I have a few fun activities I do outside the gym, but other than that, I'm on the couch and rinse and repeating.
Yeah. You know, moving to Bolivia, well, moving to South America has really helped me muse more
Hmm.
because to come back to the saying no to things, it's challenging in the beginning. And I lived in California for a while and then going back to Rhode Island, and all my old friends from high school
Okay.
would want to go to drinking parties and all this. And I'm like, I got tired of saying no. So for me, like living away from home makes it so much easier for me to muse in my life.
Yeah, I
And
felt that when moving to Austin a bit, definitely.
so you're from Maine and you moved to Austin.
Boston. My folks just moved to Maine.
Boston.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're from Rhode Island. Where'd you go to school in Rhode Island? Or where'd you grow up rather and go to school?
I went to Coventry High School.
Yeah.
Out of high school, I went right into fine dining, and then I moved to California when I was
Oh
20
yeah. Okay.
and tried to be an actor and did the whole thing there. So I skipped the school part.
Bro, you've had many muses, dude.
I've had a few
So
muses, yeah.
so it's the best. It's all part of the journey. Like, okay, yeah. But yeah,
It's all part of the
My
journey.
folks are in Maine now. I'm from Boston. I went to Babson. I played hockey
Mm.
at Babson yeah, I'm in Austin, Texas now. I've been here for almost 4 years.
Makes sense that you're a hockey player. I grew up playing hockey as well. Hockey and lacrosse were my two sticks. And I almost went to college for lacrosse, but just didn't make sense to me. But like even like the muse terminology reminds me of like some hockey energy
Yeah,
of
bro talk kind of like
yeah,
bro
pro
sciencey
talk.
type stuff. Yeah, definitely,
I was
100%. I think that's why a lot of my meathead friends relate to it so well, right?
yeah. I'm sure my
And
hockey buddies that will
I mean
watch
that,
this.
and I mean that in a very endearing way too.
Yeah. You reminded me, I before when you're talking about when you're breaking down the muse a while ago. I was coming off a knee surgery and I was really stepping into a muse and I like signed up for a marathon and an ultra marathon and in the training I created this philosophy and I'm curious if you can utilize something like if you do utilize this, but essentially it was seek a dungeon, leave a dungeon. So if I'm like I'll just use like a breakup for example. If I'm going through a breakup and I'm in a dungeon so to say in life, what I'll do is I'll voluntarily put myself in a really hard workout. Like I'll go run 14
Yeah,
miles or I'll go do a 2 hour CrossFit workout or something. And in that dungeon that I've now created voluntarily, I'm not thinking about the X at all. Can you relate to utilizing something like this in your life?
yeah. I think what are some other terms? Baseline, like a baseline workout is the best way to describe it, or a flush out workout.
A flush out.
Everyone probably has their own version of it, whether it's fit running or CrossFit or insert physical activity, but definitely you just go back, put your through put yourself through hell for a bit to get rid of or whatever those negative demons are. Because I don't know, on the concept of energy, I feel like a lot of those negative thoughts are, sure, there's physical, actual things happening in your life that could be causing emotion, but then also you have, for me at least, I'll put it this way, that I can relate to it much more frequently recently. Just negative emotions and thoughts in my head, useless, right? That are often useless. Um, it's just energy, right? So it's
Yeah.
like for me, going and blowing that out through hard training, especially like hard, like tactical training. It's things yet not tactical in the sense of like military, but like technical rather. Things I have to think and I have to like exert myself energetically. A lot of times it will just leave me at a baseline. Yeah, just get rid of all that.
I like
Truthfully,
that baseline.
it's why I've been into fitness for so long, Ethan. I've used fitness always in my life. CrossFit just recently, but always fitness as an escape from that dungeon, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
I love that. It had me thinking when I've always also been into fitness. I think it's like growing up playing sports, growing up playing hockey, growing up playing lacrosse. Fitness is just kind of part of the routine. And when I was like 25, 26 is when I really started making money in business. I thought I was king shit, and I stopped working out as much because I had this other thing that was like providing me value, which was being really proficient in sales. And I got fat, and maybe not fat in terms of some people's eyes, but I was like 220, not looking good. And that was when I would sit in that and I didn't have that outlet of working out. That was some of like the lowest lows I've ever been in, because instead of seeking fitness, I would seek alcohol. I would seek
Mm,
like a nice restaurant or
mm,
pleasure from other sources. And the reason I brought that up is I think maybe some people listening might be doing that now. And what would, because if they look at your content like, okay, I'm not going to be going to do this crazy ass workout that Jacob's doing, but with someone wanting to just getting started with a Muse, how can you help them out there?
mm. Okay. So my easy answer is going to be I always would ask the person, "Are you into fitness?" Right? So let's say that they're not that fitness is not something they're pursuing currently. I'd say, hey, going back to like the mind clear motor running concept, you need to get all of your inputs into the body and into the mind right. So I'd say you need to start um, with a strong fitness foundation. Start moving that body. Start generating the energy. Start burning off energy, so on and so forth. And then I would say make sure that you have at least one big foundational goal in your life. It doesn't need to be the end goal or the goal, but a goal for that season of life. Um, and for me, what that allows me to do is it just is another place for me to put my identity, right? I think, or rather, how's the best way to word this? I don't ever want one thing in my life to become my identity, right? And I think a lot of times it uh, we get tied down into. I'm rambling here. I lost my train of thought. Apologies.
No, you're
The
good,
que- the
brother. You're
que-
good.
your question was how do you advocate for someone, or would you advise someone to start to find their muse? If you're not into fitness, definitely start with some sort of like movement, right? Some sort of movement to get you in the right direction. I think fitness is a core fundamental value of the Muse. But other than that, it's pick a one or two big goals to have in your life. Things that you want to begin working towards. They don't have to be. It doesn't have to be end goal of what you're working towards, but something that's gonna you can keep your mind on. It's gonna keep you focused. And then from there, just start picking apart inputs into your life, right? Where are a lot of your distractions coming from, right? You got to be diligent about it. I've taken a lot of time over the past few months when I'm really trying to lock into this. Is like, where am I spending 5, 15, 10 minutes of my day here and there? Is it needed? Can I put that elsewhere? Is my routine locked in? I think I have a good routine. Is it though? Could I get to bed earlier because of if I had things planned out? If you really want to like get deep into your muse, you need to start picking apart all of those inputs, I believe. But other from a very baseline, start with one or two big goals, and
Yeah.
and give it everything you have, and then come back to me and tell me you're not feeling better, you're not seeing more ideas pop in front of you. You're not
Mm.
gaining more momentum, not more motivated. You know,
Not
one or
creating
two
new
big things
personal
to work toward.
reality as well.
Yeah.
I really I freaking love that answer, and I kind of want to break it down for the listeners as well. So first, what you said was identify, I guess, what it is that you really want too. Like, are you even into fitness? Like, what do you even like? Because if you're not into fitness, maybe find Pilates. I saw a girl with a shirt yesterday that said "In my Pilates era," and I was like, "Damn, that's a cool shirt. I kind of want one." It was pretty badass. But like, what is it that you can connect with and do? Maybe you used to play hockey growing up, so maybe you can go find an ice rink and just skate, do something there. So, what do you enjoy about fitness now? I really like group classes, so maybe someone else listening can find companionship through group
Mm.
classes. Then you said set a goal, which is really, really important. And not just a I want to lose 20 pounds goal, because that's a little bit fleeting. And you've probably said that to yourself like 30, 40 times in your life. I want to lose 20 pounds. But then something happens, you're not as committed to the goal. What version of yourself can you really fall in love with and work towards that? And then you kind of like did a little bit of like a reverse engineering, which I thought was really cool. Of of because sometimes I talk about this a lot lately, which is it's not so much adding more to my plate. It's like, what the heck can I get off my plate?
Yeah.
And I believe that'll really get us closer to what it is that we want. So I appreciate that answer, brother. And the next thing I want to ask you was, and when I first heard this word, I was like, what the fuck? Excuse my language, but tinker maxing. But when I
Mm.
understood the definition, I was like, this is awesome. So can you elaborate
Yeah.
on that for us?
Just have different interests, right? I think ideally those different interests are those goals that you're working towards. I mean, for me, example, in always be tinkering with something new. If the best inventors in the world of all time, right? Creatives, Da Vinci, um, Musk, insert Newton, right? Their inventions spanned like crazy different realms and crazy different industries. I think just do that to the best of your ability. I mean, my story, hockey was my thing. I thought I was going to be an NHL hockey player. And then I'm at school and I'm like, I knew hockey wasn't going to work out. All right, I think like consulting is the next thing for me. All right. So I deep dive into that. Sick of that. All right. You know what? I think Austin and crypto is like the next thing for me. And I get deep dive into that. And I'm like, oh, you know what? Running. Gonna get back into running. Meanwhile, while you're running, you also have different career interests, right? It's like just be be I like this. I like this frame of mind. Be content knowing what you're doing now is probably not what you're going to be doing a year from now, right? It's
Mm.
just I think when you accept that, or rather when I accept that more, um, it's more enjoyable. It's more fun because I'm like, ooh,
Mm.
let's just enjoy this. Let's be here right now, not worry about what's coming next or what needs to come next.
I believe this is a key to mastery, is tinkering and tinker maxing with things and trying new things. And to your point, understanding that I might not be doing this in a year, but one of the things that I talk about a lot is dharma. It's a Sanskrit word that means life path, life purpose. And one of the keys of finding your dharma is to test new things, because you
Mm.
can't just expect to wake up one day and like, oh, I'm gonna write beautiful Baroque classical music, and okay, I'm gonna be the next Leonardo da Vinci or whatever. He might be a painter, but whatever it may be, it's not just gonna fall onto your plate. It's through trial and error and doing things that you love to do, trying them out, and like realizing, okay, I don't know if I want to do this the rest of my life, but hey, I tried.
Yeah.
So I love that, and for the listeners, like, try new things. You just heard Jacob say like he's really found something that he's truly committed to, because you can really see the test of if you like it a lot is if you still wake up and want to do it
Do
on
it.
a day-to-day basis.
I think also like tinkering is like super important, like for your full self development and potential maxing, if you will. Because you don't know where I believe we're all put on this earth with a key to unlock one crazy special door. Like we all have this one unique inherent gift. And it's but you have to find it, right? And it's a key, if you will, to a door that unlocks your just crazy potential. But you
Mm.
have to try all the doors,
Mm.
right? And that's life, is exploring all those doors. It's taken me a while to realize that, but that's where my head's at. And that's what
Yeah.
excites me about this journey, is because it's, oh, I'm at another door. This might be the door. Let's keep going.
Yeah. I believe when we find that door, you'll never work a day in your life. You wake up and you'll make a abundantly limitless amount of money because you're doing what you love, you're good at it, and then you find a way to serve humanity with that. Then abundance just comes to you effortlessly and easily, and you get to just live the best life ever. And people get to see that through example.
Yeah,
I love that.
it's a cool concept when you really think about it. And I, it's like, how, why does that, it make, there's no reason, like, theoretically, like, that should work, right? Doesn't it just make sense? Doesn't something like that just make sense? That it's like, I don't mean like whether it's 1,000 years ago or 1,000 years from now, it just makes sense that that a force that force that give puts out also like pulls back,
Mm.
right? I mean, it's inherent to our universe at the simplest level, the sun, right? The sun is this endless source of energy and abundance, giving off all of this, right? And at the same time, what is happening? Everything's being drawn towards it, right? And that's
Mm.
essentially what we first messaged about on IG. I think that is what kind of Dharma is getting at, right? It's like you're tapping into that type of wavelength or that type of energy, that potential energy, which
Yeah.
is cool, really
Really
cool.
cool. And going back a little bit to Tinker Maxing,
Hmm.
now you still are you still in consulting? Are you still doing something else besides your fitness journey right
Yeah,
now that's
yeah,
bringing in?
I do. I work full time. That's one of my tinkers. I still like enjoy working in a corporate environment, like building in an established, um, building and being creative in at an established company, like Fortune 500 company. And I work in tech and engineering specifically.
Mm.
So,
That's awesome. And I think that's really important as well for the listeners to understand because sometimes when we think of like, and especially all we see online nowadays is this person's doing fitness and they're somehow making all this money from it. And then it just confuses your mind. Like, I can't leave my corporate job and start doing this.
yeah,
But to use you as an example, it's like you're still working for a company. You enjoy that because you enjoy the growth that you're finding within that, but then you're still focusing on tinkering outside of that and things that bring you happiness. And one thing I can guarantee is I guarantee it makes you a better employee. It makes you better in all areas of your life when you're able to focus on other things that bring you happiness.
yeah, without a doubt. Truthfully, it, I've been tinkering. Like, you could take tinkering to different levels, right? You could tinker at a macro level, like I'm always tinkering in my interest, but I'm also tinkering at a micro level at my life all the time. Like, I'm always tinkering with, how can I change my schedule so I can get to work a little bit earlier, right? How can I be more productive at work a little bit? How can I get out of work a little bit earlier so I can get to the gym earlier? I just always tinkering, and for me, tinkering is a core component to finding your muse, and then
Mm.
also maintaining and feeding the muse, if you will, like keeping that
Mm.
muse going.
Mm.
And then and then you could tinker it even a smaller level, right? Even when you're in the gym, you tinker on the rings, on the ring muscle up. It's like different approaches, different training techniques. And we're infinitely scalable. Like the sport of CrossFit, our terminology here at Muse headquarters is infinitely scalable.
Infinitely scalable. And I love that too. And I can correlate that to my life where some days I want to scale back in CrossFit. I don't want to be going absolutely crazy. So I'm going to scale back. Hey, I'm still going to tinker today, but I'm going to scale back, which I really like. I think this is going to connect well into this next thing I want to ask you about, but I want to ask about weakness maxing.
Yeah, weakness
And
maxing. Hit me.
what is weakness maxing?
Mm.
How can listeners utilize weakness maxing?
All right. If if the think of the if I were to describe the muse to you, it's a bubble. Think of Bubble Boy, right? The muse is this aura around you, this state of being, right? And then inside that bubble, you want it to be optimal conditions. It's like you want like just it ready to pop at any moment, right? Weakness maxing for me is the ultimate fuel to be putting into the muse. So I believe that when you weakness max, it's the quickest, most efficient way to get to to level up, to get to the next level, right? It's just a small level. Like, you work on we'll take ring muscle up. You work on your rings consistently for a month, right? You will go from doing 1 to 5, 5 to 20. I really think you will if you put the time and effort in and you do it properly. Apply that to anything in your life, right? The momentum you gain from that, Ethan, when you go from doing one to then 2 weeks later, you're like, I just did 5. You're like, I'm here at the gym tomorrow at 7 a.m. again. I'll be here again. I'll be here again. You do the same thing at work. You're bad at giving presentations, but you produce really good work, right?
Mm.
You work on producing better presentations. You get that in front of a stakeholder, like in front of your SVP or your product lead, who really doesn't care other than 2 words. And then you realize that, and you tinker, and you figure that out, and you weakness max to make your presentations better and your presenting skills better, and then boom, there you go. You're being asked to do work on new projects. So 2 different crazy examples, but it's again, it's the easiest way to just keep going, to keep the muse fueled, right? By just always attacking what you don't want to be attacking.
So true. Why do you think people avoid weakness maxing though?
Good question. Like, why would I have, like, ring muscle ups for whatever reason, I always go back to, right? It's like one of my best performing videos. It was a great vid. I'm proud of it personally.
It's a good video,
like,
yeah.
just talking to like why, and I think about why would I not do ring muscle ups for so long? I mean, there is some physical, like, it's just kind of awkwardness to any sort of new movement. There's that, but I think it's just an ego thing where you're like,
Yeah.
I don't, dude, it's a really good question, Ethan, and I don't have an answer for you. Why is weakness maxing so hard? What is it about that? It's not challenging. Sitting down to just send an email is not hard. Getting on the rings and just dead hanging for 30 seconds is not that hard. There's something inherent, right, that like stops us from wanting to do it.
Yeah, there's this really cool book that I tend to go back to that I really liked, and it's called The Twin Thieves. And after the book, the twin thieves are the fear of failure and the fear of comparison. Those are the thieves of joy. And
fear of failure and fear of comparison are the 2 thieves of joy. Yep. Okay.
And I think that can kind of maybe connect to, because I was generally interested, because I know in my life I also will sometimes avoid weakness maxing, and then I'm like, I know this is going to make me better. Like, why don't I just do it? Why don't I put up more videos on social? Why don't I do this? Why don't I do this? And it always comes down to, when I think about it, well, I'm kind of usually a little fair, and I'm okay to admit this. I care what people think about me. So I think that's the comparison. And then failure, like, I'm going to fail. It's going to be a shitty video. Or
I think for me, I think it's the failure. Okay. Here's why weakness maxing for me at the gym is so challenging. It just came to me. What you just said brought it to me. The gym is an outlet for me, right? Fitness is an outlet for me. I go to the gym to feel good. To leave the gym for a few weeks at a time, not feeling good because I just weakness maxed and it sucked and it did not go well and I failed, is hard for me. Right? It's really hard for me to then go home at night and like settle and read and get to bed on time and feel relaxed. That's why weakness maxing for me is so hard, especially at the gym. But it's why it's so good for me, because when you get over that, you become comfortable with that. You then become comfortable because you can go home at the beginning of your next weakness max, or at the end of your next weakness max session that sucked, and you have that feeling again, but you can go home and you're like, I've been with this feeling before. I understand it. I know where it's coming from. There's no problem. I'm actually better than I was when I left the gym. It just doesn't feel that way. Give it a week. Boom, done. And that's where I'm at right now, Ethan. And I hope others can. And I hope you get there too, where it's like, I don't give a fuck, really. It's like, I'll go to the gym and like, I know I'll bag myself for an hour. I don't give a fuck if I fail 30 times. I don't even do one of the damn exercise. Tomorrow, I'll be back. I'll do 29. But on the 30th one, it's there. And then boom, we're done. You know?
Yeah.
And so, in to cap that off, this is just another maybe cherry on top. It's why I think it's so important to not let your big goal become your identity. Because when your big goal, when you start to run into challenges like that, and it's your identity, you're in the gutter, right? You're in the gutter because all your happiness and all your joy comes from, oh, like crazy good gym session today. Workout video is going to look sick, right? And then when that starts going poorly, it's like, dude, I definitely went through that for a phase now, and again, why I feel like I'm just so happy right now is because I'm not tied to that thing.
Man, that's awesome. I can it's funny as you talk about the ring muscle ups thing, I can really connect to that with my CrossFit journey as well. And when I look back to the progression of it, like I have videos where my elbow looks like it's popping out and I'm like almost at the top of the rings, and then I have like my first ring muscle up, and when I got that first ring muscle up, I wanted to call my mom and tell her. Like I was so excited and so hyped, like wow, I've been working so hard at this and now I finally got it. But I think another thing to add on to weakness maxing is it's like once you get that first ring muscle up, and I know you can agree with this, like you got to keep doing it. You have to
Yeah.
keep hitting it more and more and more because you don't want to weakness max backwards. I don't even know if you can add the max of that weakness backwards.
Yeah. Right. You don't, the irony about it is, sorry, I'm just recording to get some clips for myself. If you remind me, I'll
Yeah,
text
yeah.
you.
Come on
Um,
now.
yeah. Repeat that once more for me, if you don't mind.
It's like you got to keep doing it. I'll give you an example actually.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this gym that I'm at right now, the rings are weird. I'm actually going to do a ring muscle up today when I go to the gym on these rings, but like they're weird rings. They're too close to a
Yeah.
glass wall, and I've been
They're
making
it's
excuses.
an excuse. Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Well, then
I've been
here
making excuses.
it's an extra max because now it's an extra X at the end because it's like you're doing it in a tough location, so you're just going to be even better afterwards, right? Um, but it is funny in how you can regress so quickly. But I think what's interesting about that is like even think of your strengths, think of things you're good at. When you're not doing them, when you're not brushing up on the fundamentals or like your strengths because you think you're good at them, you're actually there's no difference between a weakness maxing your strength and a weakness maxing a weakness. It's just your weakness maxing at different points of that weakness, right? And so just as your weaknesses, your rings are falling behind, like your squats could be falling behind too. It's crazy to think about. And not saying you need to go squat. I'm just saying it's like what a crazy world we live in. It's like how do I continue to get better here and here and here and here? I guess I have to juice. No, but right. No, but it's seriously, it's like, all right, I'm moving. It's like in a my player mode. It's like in my player mode, right? It's like, all right, here's the progression bar on this skill, but then this skill is decreasing. What am I supposed to do? I think my friend, I think one of my friends, I forget who it was. I think it was my training partner, Angie. She goes, I wish I just could just clone myself so I could one clone could be working on rings, one clone could be working on dip strength, and
That's actually what I love about CrossFit, though. I had a kind of a funny story here. I was at this event. It was a mastermind, and there was this jack dude had acne all over his face, was losing his hair, so some telltale signs there. But he was jacked, so I was like, small talking him. I was like, "You're in great shape, brother. What it is that you do?" And he went into some crazy like science about his training and like he does shoulders on Mondays and chest on Tuesdays, and I'm over here like, that sounds so boring. That sounds terrible. Just to look like this. And then he asked me what I did, and I was like, oh, I train more of like a CrossFit style approach, and then I like to run as well. And he's like, oh, that's the worst thing you could do. And it made me laugh inside because I'm like, maybe that's the worst thing you can do, but for me, we have maybe different goals and of being in the gym, but it's the best thing I can do because it gets me to the gym and it gets me excited to work on something new. Because every time I leave the gym, I get my first ring muscle up. Okay, well, tomorrow I want to be able to handstand walk for 50 feet or 75 feet or be able to hold it for a minute. So there's something new each day. And I heard this quote recently, and is the reason why you're pissed off or upset is because you're not growing. That's it. And I think a lot of people in society could really hear that quote is if you're just walking around pissed off about the news all day or about something that's out of your control, it's because you're not growing. And I think that really hit with me.
I agree 100%. I'd say the most of my stresses and most anxious times, or my most dungeness times, going back to your term, come from when I'm not moving forward. Doesn't have to be crazy progress, but there's nothing I'm working towards. I think that goes back to why a core pillar for me is a goal, something you're working towards.
Yeah. Do you get any pushback from like family or peers about like maybe I don't know if I don't want to put words in your mouth, but your like obsession or like your real like hard focus on what it is that you're doing?
Oh, not at all. I I think I get pushback from my close friends and my family about resting and relaxing more and being um, just enjoying the fruits of your labor more. But what I'm actually doing, no. My closest friends and my family get like understand me to a core. And truthfully, Ethan, I'd be living this life even if I wasn't documenting it. I know that sounds cheesy, but I think I would could ask my best friends, my best friend Lloyd, my best friend Mike, Christian. I've been living, they've honestly, truthfully, kind of giving me a hard time since we were 12 years old for kind of the way I've been living, just like always kind of like seeking, avoiding things because I don't want to feel one way the next day, stuff like that, right?
Mm.
And so they get me and they understand it. And my closest friends here and those who I'm starting to surround myself with and open myself up to more get me and understand that too. So
Mm.
I appreciate all them for that.
That's amazing. And it seems like you've really just attracted these type of people in your life too, just because of how you've always been like this. And with your new friend groups in Austin, you're probably just attracting people that are similar to you. Do you see that or?
Yeah, I mean, it's yeah, man. It's a really really poignant question for me right now because something I've been weakness maxing is like relationship building and friendship building.
Mm.
Um, yeah, we're from the East Coast. We're generally more closed off, colder, harder to get us to open up. I would say I for
Yeah.
sure runs in my family without a doubt.
Yeah, me too.
But I've really been trying to be open and see what people are trying to say and do. There's so many people around me here in Austin who have been like knocking at my door, like, dude, let's hang out, let's build, let's do more stuff. Like, can't get enough of like what you're doing and trying to do. And I've just been like, "No, I gotta go do my thing, gotta go do me."
Mm.
And I'm like, I'm done with that. And it's like I'm finally trying to be more open while still maintain like having my personal space. But man, it's so awesome to surround yourself with people who just truthfully just like to freaking work out, Ethan, and
Yeah.
and do it every single day and show up day after day. So
Yeah.
we're gonna go run. We got a good crew running the trail in Austin tonight. So I'm fired up. I'm like normally it's not nothing I wouldn't normally seek that out, but it's like come on, no brainer.
Yeah.
It's like
No
the hockey
brainer.
locker room. It's like the hockey locker room again, right? But now you can commingle.
Yeah, that's I can really agree with that. That's my favorite thing about when I found CrossFit was the camaraderie and reminding myself of the hockey locker room. Like, holy shit, our heart rate was at 200 for probably 7 minutes,
Yeah,
and we survived that, and that was amazing. And just like that camaraderie through suffering is it's way better to me, seems like to you, than going to a bar and crushing a few IPAs or crushing a few beers. It's way more enjoyable at this point in my life.
yep, without a doubt, hands
Mm. Do
down.
you drink?
No, I don't. No, I've
Yeah.
cut out alcohol since. I mean, I'll have a beer or a drink when I go home and hang out with my folks,
Yeah.
or I'll have a beer if I'm on the beach. But no, it's not part of the Muse protocol. Definitely, it's anti-Muse for me.
I've been musing without knowing it for a while, and I think it's maybe why I really connected with you and liked and wanted to speak with you. But I had understood that alcohol wasn't in the Muse protocol last year, so I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna cut it out of my life fully for a year, and then at the end of the year, I'll probably get to a state maybe where you're at, like having a beer with my pops. Like
Yeah,
it's something he likes to do, so I'll probably do that for him. But it's not in the protocol. I can't even. I don't remember what it feels like to be drunk. Actually, it's crazy how like. I mean, it kind of do, but I don't remember why I would want to do it, which is kind of
yeah.
funny.
It's crazy how big of a drinking culture though there is out there, and there's nothing against it, right? I mean, I remember the OG videos of what were the like the CrossFitters, paleo or whatever it was drinks that they used to make. I remember there's original, like they're at the OG CrossFit Games somewhere. I don't know if they're at the games, but they're at someone's place and they're making these crazy like tequila skim Gatorade batches. Yeah, so I mean it's a part of life, man, and it's part of some people's muse, but it's definitely not mine. I just always I don't know, it stimulate I can't get going in the morning. And when I can't get going in the morning, when I can't start good, I can never recover. So
Yeah, I'm really with you on that. And it's funny, back to the CrossFit thing. I was reading some of the, I was on Mayhem's Instagram page, I think today or yesterday, because this girl that I was working out with in Medellin, Colombia, made the CrossFit Games. So I've been following her,
mm,
and she's a Mayhem athlete. But I was reading Austin Hatfield's profile, and he's like, "What's your favorite post win meal?" And it was a 30 rack of Coors Light, which I thought was funny. Oh,
good stuff. Good stuff.
what would you
Good calories.
say?
Good calories there.
Yeah, good cows. And well, when I got rid of alcohol too, my fitness, like I
Increased.
feel like, oh, big time, big time. I feel like that's when I finally hit my ring muscle ups. I think you saw I finally hit. I had some pretty big hairy goals for CrossFit this year, and not too many of them, but like the weights to get there are pretty hairy, and I've already hit a decent amount of them. Now it's just more the strength goals, which are pretty high, but I'm working towards them heavy right now. But hitting that 10 bar muscle ups without
That's a good number,
breaking,
man.
it
Good
felt
number.
fantastic. I only got my first bar muscle up about a year ago, a
One
little
to
less than
10. So then 10, now it's like, all right, another like add another 10% to that, and then 10%, and you're cooking. It's crazy how some of these dudes, man, how many they can do unbroken. Like it's effortless. Effortless.
yeah. So what are the goals? I remember when I first followed your videos, you were training for the 2026 CrossFit Games,
Yeah.
and I actually saw a funny comment from the probably like the the chirper of CrossFit. Can't remember his name right now, but he commented probably
Oh, yeah.
unlikely.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so funny, dude.
I actually like his
Definitely.
videos because
Hiller.
he's pretty funny, but I can't
Yeah.
remember his name.
Hiller. Andrew Hiller. I think that's
Andrew
what his name
Hiller.
is.
Yeah, yeah.
Hiller's very, very entertaining. Um, yeah. That's a little audacious, but hey, listen, I'm gonna train CrossFit hard to do as much as I can, given my lifestyle now with work, right? I'm gonna train with everything I got for 4 years. At that point, I'll be 35, right? Probably be feeling it at that point, and I'm realistic that like that it might be time to taper. But hey, listen, if I'm still feeling good, I'll keep training. And at that point, like masters, and listen, you make the masters, and you make the masters, it's still the games. So um, listen, it's not changing. The goal is to make the games. I'll train as long as I have to, but along the way, Ethan, like I would love to do some cool stuff. I'd love to compete at Crash Crucible would be a big, huge goal, which is in down in down the Carolinas. Um, Wadapalooza, I'd love to compete at that, and then semifinals would be in the next like 3 years here. I think would be awesome, and then push from there.
I'm rooting for you big time. I saw these
Awesome.
comments like, oh, he's not gonna make it. I'm like, watch, because when I see someone who's committed, I just get fired up for them. And you got my energetic push, and I'm gonna come to Austin. We're gonna get after it for a couple
Yeah,
days too,
dude.
one of these days.
You should with your travels. Where's your home base right now? Other if you weren't in South America.
Rhode Island.
Okay, yeah. I mean, so you're gonna have to kind of might come that way on your way home. So
Yeah.
hit us a quick pit stop, even if at night, just for a workout and and some barbecue. We'll rip it.
Yeah, I love Austin. I drove my car cross country a year and a half ago because I was moving from California back, and I have a Tesla, so it was like the worst drive of my life. I had to stop every hour. I had old ladies in Texas flipping me off because I'm in a Tesla with California plates. They're like, "Oh, get the fuck out of Texas. We don't want you." It was kind of funny, but I just stayed in Austin for like a week, so I had some friends there, and I was like, I'm done driving already. So I got the itch for sure to go back. So I'll most likely make that happen before this year
Definitely,
ends.
definitely. Quite Squatch Fitness. We'll rip it up. It'll be a good time.
I have off camera. I said I had a quote for you, and I literally
Yeah.
was. I'm a member of this academy. It's one of my tinkers. It's a Jordan Peterson Academy. And before this call, I was listening to some JP, and he said, "Not every treasure has a dragon, but every dragon has a treasure." What are your first thoughts on that?
Sometimes the quote is, "Not every treasure has a dragon, but every dragon has a treasure." I
Yeah.
take that as sometimes exactly what you need, the treasure you need, or yeah, what you need is right in front of you, and all you have to do is take it, right? It's been given to you. It's there. Just take it. There's other, what you need, what you want, you're gonna have to fight for it. I think it's that simple, and I think that yeah, that's a great quote, and I truly believe that. Truly, truly believe that.
I believe that too.
Really, 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 really cool quote.
Well, brother, this has been a real pleasure of mine. I've really enjoyed this conversation. Thank you for being here, and for the listeners who've made it this far, how can they connect with you? How can they follow your journey?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram as the Jacob Donahue, and that's about it. Simple.
Boom.
Man of few social media tinkers. Just one for now. But Ethan, thank
Awesome.
you for having me, man. It was great, and it's just really refreshing to hear someone of a like mind that I'm connecting with, because that's the goal. It's just connect with people who also feel the same way. So
I
keep
agree.
doing you, man. Like I said, it's a crazy world, and I think our job is to just navigate it the best of our ability and figure out what we are supposed to be doing, because that in the end helps others too. So that's how I live. I think you're doing the same.
Preach. All right, buddy. Bye.
Dude, have a great weekend. Peace.
Bye.